Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about using titles in our journals, and I am so excited. This is something I forget to do, but I actually love doing it. I love how it looks on my page. I love that it adds a point of interest. I love that it gives me an idea of what's going on the page, and it grabs me right from the get-go when I'm looking back through all of my past journals. You can see I've been going through and tabbing pages that I want to show you today. So we've got a lot to jump into. Let's go through some of these tabs and look at these titles, how different ways I have used titles in my journals. See if there's any that you hadn't thought of or any that you've forgotten to use in a while. So let's jump in. Easily the most obvious and basic way of adding titles into your journal is just by writing them in. It's the most accessible. If you're journaling, I know you've got a pen. I know you can write it in. If you're a journaling person, you're going to have that option, aren't you? So titles, so fun to try out different fonts, to try out different ways of writing and using your handwriting to look different on different pages, different sizes. There's also so many different options for writing a title in your journal. You can use, here I've used paint pen that I've written around the edge with just a regular pen. You could use markers, you could use paint or paint pens, fountain pens. You know, there is a million different ways that you can hand write or hand letter your titles into your journals. Very, very easy. This is the most obvious way of adding a title into your journals. Magazines are an incredible resource for finding different words and phrases that you can use as a title. I've got In Winter here and Feel the Warmth that I have cut out of a magazine and out of a book. Both places are super, super great for that. I've not written it, have I? I've cut out Back to School and here Home is a Haven. I love going through magazines and books and finding words and phrases that really resonate with me and that I think could easily be usable in my journals. So they are really great ways to find titles that you might want to add into your journaling. Another fun way I like making titles in my journal is using alphabet stickers. I have such a collection of alphabet stickers that I have built up over the years, and I really love it when I remember to use them and I can make all sorts of fun titles in my journals using my alpha stickers. So they're definitely something that you can typically find around pretty affordably and pretty easily. So definitely another option to make a fun title in your journal is using up some of your alphabet stickers. In a similar vein, stamping. Using your alphabet stamps is another fantastic way of adding a title onto your page. I really love using my alpha stamps. They are so fun and obviously a really great investment because you can just keep using them over and over and over again to come up with great different titles to add into your journals. I love how they look. They always just catch my eye. I love stamping out my titles. Another one that I use less often, but I really like, is using stencils. Stencils is something I've got to remember more often to use. But you can see I stenciled Top Secret down here. And then recently in my journaling, I haven't filled in the rest of the writing yet, but I have stenciled out the words This Beautiful Place and Tweed, which is my cat's name. They are also a really fun way to add some titles to your journal in a really, unique font that you might not write by hand. Another really fun way of making titles is cutting out individual letters from magazines and making these ransom note style titles in your journals. These are so much fun. Let me show you a few in here in my journal. Here I've written out my niece's name, New Moon, and then over the back here I have School Reunion. And that is such a fun way to use up the really fun fonts that you can find in magazines. I love doing this. I have a whole collection of letters sitting in a box up on my shelf so I can pull from them at any point that I want to. This is a very fun way of making a really bold standout title. Die Cut Ephemera packs. They have often got a bunch of these sorts of words and phrases that are great to use as titles in your journals. If you've got these sorts of things lying around, take a look through them and see which ones would make a really fun title for your page. Obviously you can see on this day I've written Let's Party. It was my dad's birthday, so it was a great way of adding a big title up on the corner of that page. Just like with the die cut ephemera, there's also, you get so many of these project life cards that have these titles on them. You can easily glue them into your journals. If you've got these lying around like I do, then you could easily use these in your journal as a great little title somewhere on your page. I think this is really fun and a really great way of using up these project life cards. If you're anything like me, you have just an absolute stack of them lying around that you couldn't possibly use all of them in your whole lifetime. So these are really fun ways to even just cut out the words. If you want to not keep them on the card, you can cut out the words and stick them on your page as a fun title. On this spread, you can see I have cut out of a piece of collage paper my title. You could hand cut your letters out of any kind of paper, scrapbook paper, plain paper, you know, whatever paper you like, but you can hand cut letters out and use that as a way of making a big title for your page. And this is one that I need to do again. I've only found this example of it in my journals, and I think it is so fun. So definitely one I need to bring back and try using again. I do not gravitate towards buying these tapes, these washi rolls that have words on them, but often they come in sets, and I will really love the set of washi tape, and they'll have some in there with words and phrases on them. These are good for making a title with. This one says Better Together. This one says, oh gosh, I don't even know, With Love, Say Cheese or Shine, My Home, My Haven. This one says Magical. So there are definitely ways of using your washi tapes as a title in your journaling. I even have some ribbon that have titles on them. So even look out on things like fabric and ribbon. Sometimes you will find titles that you can cut out and use in your journaling. You can find titles absolutely everywhere. Those are my ideas and tips and different thoughts on adding titles into your journaling. There is so many great reasons and great ways of adding titles into your journal. Honestly, I find that having titles written down in my journaling page, it really helps me figure out what this day was about. It gives me an instant, the moment I look at the page, I can see what the day is about. It helps me find information that I might have written in my pages. It brings me right back to the moment. So I definitely recommend it. I would love to hear how you like including titles in your journals, and if it's something that you would like to start trying some different variations of titles. I would love to hear from you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys again really soon for my next one. Bye, friends.